Firstly, tell us a little bit about your strategy. You mentioned, Gen Z or millennials. They don't watch sports the way that you or I watch sports. So, how? Tell us a little bit more about your strategy to crack that market.
Well, a couple things which we think are really important here. Sports no longer exists on its own. A lot of younger viewers, if they aren't turning to esports, watch sports through watching highlight clips, or they are watching the social media feeds of key athletes. We've seen there's been less fandom aimed at the actual teams and more fan enthusiasm and time spent watching individual athletes. And all of that combines with an environment where people watch with a mobile phone in their hands today. They are much more oriented toward a social experience than a passive viewing experience. Where sports and mobile and social and gaming come together is really the intersection that we spent a lot of time thinking about. And that's where a lot of our enhancements to the revenue model for sports or esports come in.
So, I do want to get to the revenue model. What does the revenue stream look like for your endeavor?
Well, we have a data company that actually measures esports performance, competition, usership on the major esports channels. We have a game publishing unit that actually makes games. We have a programmatic advertising, that's a fancy word for the new forms of digital advertising that get sold based on matching users and data on the fly in digital environments. We have a competitive gaming platform called Ultimate Multi-Party Gaming, where buddies can play each other for money in esports, or influencers play, or we host teams tournaments for the major game publishers. And we have a business called WinView, which is a way to arm viewers of both traditional sports on television and esports on the gaming platforms, and allow them to have a game as viewers as they're watching. Think of fathers and sons have always watched sports together. Buddies watch together. They're talking back and forth, often trash talking about what the quarterback's going to do, what's going to happen next. And what we've created is a tangible platform through the mobile phone, through a mobile app, for people to play along in real time, where you're asked what's going to happen next, what's the next play going to be, what's the quarterback going to do, and you are awarded points, or points are taken away, sync
Mhm,
to the live action in the game,
mhm.
and you can play for money. Entry fees, not gambling. It's not you can't bet on a single proposition or bet on the outcome of the game, but more Jeopardy style of what we call games of skill, where people are playing based on how good their sports IQ is. And with that, we think we've created an enhanced viewing experience. It's more social, that's more involved, that intuitively takes where people were watching sports anyway and brings it into a more modernized version with its own revenue stream of entry fees based on people being able to play for money. Now, we've applied that to esports as well, by, if older generations don't realize this, but there's some 400 million viewers of esports around the globe.
Right.
People watching gamers play, gamers watching other gamers play on platforms known as Twitch or Facebook gaming or YouTube gaming. And they, as viewers of those gaming experiences, they are tweeting away or texting away, but they don't have a game themselves as gamers to play, predicting what's going on in the games they're watching. Again, having entry fees, direct to consumer revenue streams that allow them to compete about who knows the game better, about what's going to happen, can also be applied to esports.